Farispo of the Far From Vesuvius podcast. That's Ralph Pizarro of Calcio Napoli Club. Just rant about Napoli.
Let's go for it.
We're gonna rant. We're gonna match report. We're gonna talk about the games. We're gonna talk about topics. You leave comments, and we'll read your comments out. Question.
All right, quick stats.
Yes, throw the stats up there. On to a nice little segment that we're gonna call the Beast of the Match.
Who is beasting it for the Napoli team? Let's see.
Follow us on Facebook, Rafael Rispo, Ralph Pizarro, Twitter at RafaNapoli83. That's me.
CNC USA 26.
I want some feedback to the show. What do you guys want to see? What do you want to see more or less of? This is going to be a show for you guys too. I want a lot of comments.
We want to rant about something. Let us know if you want us to rant about something.
I promise you, we're not going to agree on everything all the time.
We won't.
We're going to yell at each other every now and then.
Come and rant. This is what it's for. We want to give you a space to let loose so you can do it here.
Well, that's going to do it, Ralph. Were we boring enough for you?
I don't know. I think we were great.
Let's get to it.
Madonna do Carmen, aiutici tu.
And benvenuti, fellas and bellas all over the world. Welcome to another episode of the Raff and Raff Rant. I am Raff Pizarro, joined by my co-host Rafa Rispo and the Renaissance people in the house. Let's go around, say hi to everybody. We got Carmine from at Tifoso from Napoli Club Toronto. We got Peter Scala back in the house. Welcome,
yes,
Peter.
Sir.
And our boy, Mohamed Salad. Welcome back,
boys?
sir. Welcome back.
This way. There you go.
Right here. That guy right there.
I forgot everything is reversed on camera.
It's so weird, bro. I'm scratching my head, and it's just like on the other.
It's on the other right.
When I have to fix my hair, I gotta go. Oh, wait a minute, on this side.
Yeah.
No, this side. I'm like Rafa Reese.
I'm coming for this guy right here, not you, Peter. Not you, Peter. I'm pointing at you, Peter, but I'm pointing at Salah for real. Come for you, baby. What's up?
What's up, City?
You guys sit in the house. Brother. I think I should start with wishing Canada happy Canada Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Right?
Yes.
My favorite place in the world.
On behalf of Canada, representing all of Canada right now, we appreciate the comments.
Thank you, sir. Well, it's Columbus Day for us in the States here, or now it's, I guess, Indigenous People Day and
Indigenous People Day.
That which is great. I mean,
I'm fine with it.
It's our holiday. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Hell, we got a day off. I'm cool. I'm chilling. But welcome everybody. I'm super excited to be here with everybody again. We had such a great time last time. And shout out to all the people in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Let's get this rant on the road. Be sure to comment, guys. This is our show today. This is for everybody today. Carmine, now.
Yes, sir.
We had Sereno here last time. We saw him in the chat. I'm going to put him up. What up, Sereno?
My brother, what's up?
We had Sereno here last time. So I'm glad you're here because at least we have a little bit of Napoli Club Toronto representation once again. Salad, welcome.
Yes,
I know last time I was
just in the comments, bro. It was just that. I didn't get an invite last time, bro.
That's not true. I put the invite for everybody.
I know. I'm talking.
Oh, you got me there.
I'm just getting under your skin, bro.
You did good. I'm easy though. So
yeah. I just wasn't available that night. That's why I joined in the chat. Last like 20-30 minutes.
Yes. But we're glad to have you here today, Peter Scala. Welcome back, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's always good to be back. I appreciate the invite.
Always. We got Sereno currently having some pumpkin pie and enjoying the show. I love that.
Yo, Sereno, say hi to your dad for you, bro. I had the pleasure of meeting his dad when we were over there. And Sereno's dad is the coolest person I've ever met. Like, he's so diehard Napoli. It's ridiculous. I love him.
So, you know what? Let's start there. Tell us a little bit about that trip, all right? And we'll get into Napoli. Tell us. So, if for those of you who don't know, what was it for Napoli Juve? I believe it was that.
It was
weekend?
the Napoli Juve and Napoli Leicester as well for the Europa League.
Oh, that's right, because it was that Thursday.
Yeah.
Right?
So normally they don't really meet during the middle of the week, but a few of us were free. So they sorted out the restaurant that they normally go to for them to show that game for us. So I think it was like 5 or 6 of us, including Sereno and his dad, and it was just the Napoli Juve game was incredible. There was about a good 25, 30 people there, and it was just crazy. It was just
30.
a great. It was
And
30 people.
30,
It was
30,
amazing.
31 on the dot.
31
31
people
on
in
the
there.
dot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carmine, you had a little bit of Decibel Bellini going on that day, right?
Oh,
was
you
that
know-
day?
Oh,
Listen,
brilliant.
listen. If first of all, Napoli Juve, so you have to bring that energy, and
Of
you know
course.
you have you with a whole restaurant full of Napoli fans, just Napoli fans. You have to hype them up a little bit. On top of the fact that we have a guest visiting from all the way across the pond,
Right.
first time ever meeting any of us. You have to give them
Yeah.
that little bit extra, and you know it was just. I said it on our podcast, and I'll say it again now with Mohammed here.
Right,
I
right.
know he said it's one of the best experiences of his life.
Oh,
was-
absolutely.
It was the best experience of my life as well.
Oh,
Like,
It
it's
was.
hard to
It
put
was.
on that list.
Bro, and they had like the blue flares and
The
everything.
flares,
Everyone,
Flares
and
in
then
the
everyone,
banner, yeah.
bro, everyone was singing outside. It was just such a great experience, bro. That is amazing.
So now, how did you perceive the city itself? The city of
Yo,
I never been. So,
I travel.
you know.
I travel a lot, right? Like
Okay.
I travel every couple of weeks. I'm somewhere else. I've got that privilege, thankfully, of being able to travel. Toronto is one of my favorite cities I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
I've always wanted to move to the States. That's always been the goal of mine. But if an opportunity popped up in Toronto, I would definitely take it because it's that great.
Would
you
you
know?
take it over the States? That's the big question. That's the million-dollar
Ooh,
question.
to be fair, then it depends where in the States it is, you know?
Okay. All
But I
right.
would take it over most cities in the States,
Yeah.
for sure.
So if it was like Wisconsin, you probably end up in Toronto.
Oh no, I'm
right?
staying
Like,
in
you
London.
would-
If someone offered me a Wisconsin, I'm staying in London.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Unless you really
Wisconsin.
like cheese. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. No, it was brilliant, and these guys were just the most amazing hosts. Like they took me out to eat sometimes. We went to a TFC game. They were just the most brilliant hosts. They really made. And the thing is, and people don't lie when they say Canadian people are super, super nice. Like everyone's just really, really overly
nice,
extra.
yeah.
And then when they realize you're not from there, they're even more nice. It's just everyone just offering to do stuff for you, and do you want this? And it's just so nice, man. Really enjoyed it.
See, that's great because listen, I'm from New York City. Now, when people are nice to me, I feel like they're gonna ask me for money within a couple minutes. You know what I mean? That's the big thing about New York City. It's like, hey, can I carry your groceries to your car? I'm like, no, because I know I'm gonna have to pull out a couple bucks or fill the gas tank or whatever. But I guess in Canada,
They're just
the
so
niceness,
nice.
it's free, right? I mean,
You know,
Rafa?
Rafi, that it's funny that you say that because I just was cutting someone's hair today.
okay.
Who told? By the way, you said day off. No days off for me, brother.
No
No
days
days
off
off
for
for
you,
me.
sir. No days off for
But
you, sir.
anyway, this one guy, he came in and we're talking, and he's cool, and we're talking about this one time when he was younger, going to the city via train from up where I am up right now. And he, it was by himself. He was like 19. He was young. He didn't really know what to do down there. He'd been down there before, but never by himself. But he took the train, so he got kind of lost. And this guy on the train was like, "Hey, man, yeah, when we get out, just follow me." He picked up his bag. This guy picked up my buddy's bag and just walked out of the train and was like, "Yeah, follow me. I got you. So he's holding his bag. So basically, when he got him to where he needed to go and directed him where he had to go, he's holding this guy's bag. So he's got like it hostage,
All right.
So he goes, "Oh, cool. Let me get my bag back. Thanks. I appreciate it." And he goes, "Yeah, what you got? So like money. What you got in your pocket?" So now my buddy is very, very, he's very, ignorant to all this, right?
Okay.
So he pulls out this wad of cash, boom, wad. And when he pulled it out, guy snatched the whole wad and ran. Luckily, somebody who was listening to the whole thing on the train ran after this guy, knocked him down, took his money because he had put it in his pocket, said, "Empty your pockets right now." The guy emptied his pockets. So he gave him back, and I mean, he said it was like $400 or $500 a wad, right?
Sure.
He emptied his pocket, and this guy, my buddy, ended up making an extra $300-400 because this guy did this to a bunch of people on the train before. So he gives him the money back. The other guy gives him the money. Guys goes, "Dude, man, never pull a wad out like that. If you got like a 20, leave a 20, and keep everything in your bag or in elsewhere." So this guy's counting the money on the next train, and he's like, "Wait a minute, there's There's like $3-4 extra $100 in.
Wow.
So that's how lucky he got, or he would have been out all that money, man.
To be fair, I compared New York City to London a bit because they're both like huge metropolis cities,
Right.
two
Yes.
of the biggest cities in the world, and everyone's just minding their own business. Like I wouldn't associate niceness with either city. Like
Also,
everyone's
this was also back in like 2003. You know what I mean? So times are very different now, but yeah, I wouldn't associate it either. And it's a lot, you know. And let's bring Napoli into this discussion. When someone goes to Napoli wanting to see these sights and, you know, the beautiful, you know, the sea and the Vesuvio and all these beaches and clean water and the islands and the outskirts and all that, it's great. But then when they're in the city, they really have to embrace the uniqueness of the city, the beauty that is within. And this is sort of like any other city, guys, right? Like, I mean, you go to Toronto, I'm sure Toronto, there's got to be some bad areas. London, you know,
of course.
Miami, everybody thinks Miami, the beach. Miami's a slum.
Yeah.
When you get to outskirts of Miami and the beach and, you know, all that stuff, South Beach sucks. You know, but it's
not
all
that.
the other it's the genuine like uniqueness of the city that makes it so beautiful. Same thing with Napoli. Like you know, I had a friend of mine say like, you know, I went to Naples, it wasn't anything that special, this and that, and I'm like, come on, dude, open your mind. You gotta, there you go, no pizza experience.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that in there, guys.
What I think is the most funny is how the guy who did the robbing on the New York City train got robbed by somebody who was helping out the person
he got
who
his
originally
coming.
got robbed. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a little bit of you know, payback there. Every city has its bad areas.
Exactly. Although I don't know how you go to Naples and think it's something special, even in the touristy areas.
Peter, have you been to Naples? I'm sorry, we had you quiet there in the corner.
I've been there a bunch of times.
Okay.
My dad was born there. He moved here to America in the 80s. So his parents and all my grandparents, and I have aunts and uncles and cousins still there.
Okay.
So I go there to visit.
What was your worst experience there? Like
my worst experience? Well, besides my first game at the Sao Paulo, Napoli losing 3-2 to Lecce.
No, not Lecce. Really?
Yeah.
Was it Lecce?
Yeah.
I think I remember that game.
It was.
Yeah. The Lecce game?
Yep, that was my first game. That was my first game about the Sao Paulo.
The one
a few
around
years
2 years
ago.
ago.
Yeah,
2019 or something.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, that was
2019.
that was like Gattuso's first or second game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the game after the Juventus game. But yeah,
I remember.
Of course, Milik scored and Collion scored a garbage time.
It was that volley that he scored. I mean, that was one of Callejon's 3 goals that year.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like,
the worst experience I had in Naples. I mean, you get harassed by people who want to sell socks to you. That's a
okay.
But, like, besides that, I mean, nothing like terror. The worst experience I had in Italy was in Milan, but
Ooh.
You know what?
Okay.
Me too, Peter. I've had the same thing. Same city. Worst experience I had in Italy was Milan. But
Was it
what about you
pigeons,
guys?
or-
Like, I don't know. Like for Naples, I've never had a bad. Like, I go there very often. I go there every single year, sometimes multiple times a year. So I've never, in my entire experience, I've never really had a bad experience because I'm just like, when I get there, I know what it's like. So I just instantaneously become one of them, and nobody really bothers me at that point.
Got you.
But in Milan, that's where it was a bad experience with an altercation that I'm just going to leave it at that with the people that I talked to there. That's as far as I'm willing to go with that conversation.
All right.
It was not fun, and it got pretty ugly very fast. So yeah, that was my worst experience in Italy, was in Milan.
I got duped by those guys who dress up like gladiators in Rome, and they want to take a picture with you. And so, all right, this is a true story, and then really we'll talk about Napoli. So here's the deal. This was honestly, I'm 38 now. I was 21. This is probably a decade and a half ago. You know what I mean?
2005? Are you telling me you were in Naples in 2005? Yeah, because
yes.
when you were 21, this was 2000. I was 21. I was in Naples in February.
Yes. I was in Naples in the winter as well, actually, because my cousin was getting married. She was
What
having
month?
a
You remember?
Christmas.
Come on,
It
man.
might have been-
February, mid-February.
Oh, wait, you
It was
guys
in
were
February.
in 2005. I was in Naples in 2005. We went for Christmas and New Year's.
Whoa.
Get the hell out, really.
Look at this,
I
see?
was there too. To be
What-
honest with you,
What a
Napoli
small
were in
world.
Serie C.
Right.
I was there too for Christmas and New Year's in 2005.
2000. All right, so I guess 2005 was a great year then, right, for everybody.
Because the flight rates were insane. We went seven of us. It was like 250
Oh yeah,
round
bro,
trip.
flights around them times was so cheap.
Was it so
Because, like,
cheap?
So cheap.
We'd go. Me and my mom would go to America about 3 or 4 times a year
Oh yeah,
in like
I can
2005.
imagine.
I mean, I was only like what 10 at the time. It was good times.
Well,
So what happened?
So check this
I
out.
had
So
oh
go on.
no,
Go
my
on,
bad.
go on.
Like, Karen. No, I was
Well-
gonna say I had a semi bad experience at the San Paulo my first time I went.
Okay.
I gotta hear that.
Someone played a prank on me. So basically, I was asking someone. I was in Curva A,
Okay.
the upper one, and I asked someone to take a picture of me. So while I was like getting ready, like the guy disappeared. But
Wait, hold on. Somebody wanted to take a picture of you? Is that
No.
what you said?
I gave my phone to someone to take a
To
picture of me.
Oh,
So like a picture
then
with
he
like
left.
with the stadium. Yeah. So the guy kind of disappeared. So I was like, shit. My phone got robbed, and then he came back and he was like, don't give your phone to anyone in the city.
Yeah.
Oh, he
So-
taught you a lesson.
And by the way,
No,
I
I-
just
I
made a
thought
phone
you-
call to my girlfriend. So if she calls, let her know I'm at the
Yeah,
stadium.
so I thought you
man.
robbed me. It was only about for about 10, 15 seconds.
Oh,
So he was
shit.
probably
Hey.
just watching me.
So he's
Good
teaching
So he
you
was
a
like, yo,
lesson.
don't,
You see
don't, he
that?
goes,
a
don't,
good
yeah,
lesson.
exactly. So he goes, don't give your phone to anyone here.
Raff, what
Don't
was
give your phone to anybody. Anyway,
in Rome?
so quick story. So at the time I was dating somebody, she came with me, and we went. I wanted to go see Rome. You know, I'm a big history buff, big art history buff. So naturally, I wanted to go see the Colosseum and all the artwork out there. So we go to Rome. Went for a few days, and it was just me and her. Mind you, I'm 21, wet behind the ears. You know, kind of clueless to like of what's going on out there. So my uncle, who lives there in Napoli, says to me, Ralph, if you get into any trouble or if somebody starts giving you a problem, start talking in Napolitan. I was like, what? He's like, just trust me. If you get into an issue, start talking Napolitan. I was like, all right, uncle, but don't worry about it, Zio. You know, I'll be fine. Da, da, da. Anyway, so we start. So I wanted, these stupid gladiators in their plastic gladiator uniforms wanted to take a picture of me with them in front of the Coliseum. And I was like, all right, let's do it. Cool. You know, not really thinking they're going to try to hit me up for some cash, you know, or maybe not a lot of cash. Anyway, so they take the photo. They're like, okay, cool. 20 euros each. I'm like, what? I'm like, 20 euros each. They wanted 40 euros for that photo. I was like, nah, no way, man. So I thought about what my uncle said, and I'm like, no, I'm not giving you. He's like, come on, we're working here. I was like, tu m'ha fatto fame. Like, so I started speaking it, which in translation was like, hey, you tricked me. I'm not giving you any money. I was like, and I think I gave him like 5 euros or something. I was like, here, I'll give you 5 euros because you tricked me.
Leave me
but
alone.
that's it.
Yeah.
But leave me alone. And, so that was my only really like weird experience in Italy, to be honest. But other than that,
Real quick,
okay.
my only bad experience in Italy was in February 2005 when we went. The weather, we were there for 10 days. The weather was shit.
Yeah.
The weather was, and we're in Naples, so I'm thinking, no, it's not going to be that bad. The weather was 8 out of 10 days was rain.
Rain, yeah.
And it was, and then my aunt's like, oh, my Zia Luisa, she's like, oh, it's record low temperatures. And I'm like, oh, of course. In 10 days we're here, it's record low temperatures in Naples, freezing rain. We were supposed to go to Rome, but it was like 3 feet of snow in Rome, so the trains were shut down. Mm-hmm. And it was really bad weather, but I'm telling you, I didn't let it ruin my time there, dude. Like I was... because it was the first time as like an adult there. I had been there when I was a kid, a baby, this and that. But that was one of the best times of my life because then I got to go see the Maradona Museum. There was a Museo Maradona was there in Naples in 2005. It was there the week I was there. Boom, went to go see that. That happened by chance. Then it was when I got to step on and walk Sao Paulo because my cousin was the worked with the groundskeepers for Sao Paulo, so I got to do that. I got to go visit the locker rooms of Spogliatoi, the trophy room, which was bare because they took it because the banks took it, guys. They have a trophy. The banks took the trophies. They had a desk and they had this little friendly trophy. It was insane. Wow. Mind you, I have all these pictures and the freaking disc that I had it on got ruined. I've been trying for 10 years to fix it. Then just got to experience. I went to go see them train. Took pictures with every single member of the team. Today was Eddie Rea's birthday. Got to take a picture with Eddie Rea and Eduardo De Laurentiis, the infamous, and Pier Paolo Marino and Pampa Sosa, Calayo. I mean, you name it. Ignazio Ignacio Abate that was there on loan from Milan. Just everybody from that 2004-05 season when Eddie Rea joined in January. That was like it was just, and the funny thing is, guys, these players are coming out, and as they're coming out, the guy, I guess, my cousin's boss took us to the facility, and then there was one of the security guards who was wearing a Napoli Kappa gear, like a tracksuit. He was tasked with kind of keeping an eye on us, like just like making sure we're good, right? And as these players are coming out, this guy, I think his name was Vincenzo. He was telling these guys, "Oh, these guys are fans from America." What? They wanted pictures with us. Like they took their phones out, and it's like we had a picture with like our picture, like not phones, cameras. I don't remember if whatever they had, the device they had. We had a camera, but they were like, oh, prendo foto, America, tifosi America. Oh,
I love America,
dude. Like it was insane. I couldn't believe it. Like half the team,
involve Americans.
Half the team were like, "What?
Yeah.
Fans from America? What?"
Everybody loves America.
They love Americans so much that they call me an American too sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you are North American technically.
That's the reason. He's like, "Oh, Canada, it's America." Like that's just
America.
the group.
You speak English. You're in the West. You're American.
To be fair, it is the same thing. To be fair, it's the same thing.
Right.
One quick tip about the Sao Paulo. The Maradona, excuse me. I'm not sure with COVID if it affects it, but during the week they actually have it open where fans can just kind of sit in the stands and hang out. That's
awesome.
Cool.
That's
awesome.
If
you're in Naples and you're around the Maradona, check to see if they're letting fans.
Yeah, we went on Saturday to pick up the tickets, and I thought we were just meeting at Sao Paulo to pick the tickets up. And he like the next thing you know, this guy is like, "Oh, let's go on the pitch. Oh, let's call the radio and tell them you fans are from America here. Oh, you want to see the Spogliatoi? Yeah, these are the steps Maradona walked down." And we're like, "Oh my god!" Like,
wow,
yeah,
boom, boom, boom. We're like hit with all these special treats.
It's not that open anymore. It's just they usually can sit in like they have a section open with the seats you can sit and. Hang out.
Yeah. And I'm
cool,
here. I am thinking that like this guy. I mean, he's the groundskeeper. His name was Francesco Marone. At the time, he was the groundskeeper, and I'm thinking, wow, this guy is like big time, bro. He's on his phone all the time. He's like, it's great. It's great. Every 10 seconds, he was like, "Oh, they're training. Let's go see them train." And it was like we were just coming to pick some tickets up. Like I wasn't even dressed. I had like these jeans and boots on and heavy ass boots, and I wanted to get in net when I went on the pitch. You can see me.
Shoot at me.
One of the pictures was because I was a goalkeeper. One of the pictures is of me with these jeans on and freaking Timbs and this big bubble jacket, and I'm posing in net.
Yes. Tell me you're from New York without telling me from New York.
I had this.
I played goalie with Tim's on. So New York. That's great, guys, man. I appreciate all the stories. I like Paul. I'm going to bring this up one more time, Paul. I meant what a lineup of five.
Because he said lineup, and
he said what a lineup.
I'm firing off all these old names.
Yeah. But no, these five
real
right
quick.
Here.
The last time I went to the Sao Paulo, I had a really positive experience. So basically, it was the Barcelona game where Denise Mertens scored the record-breaking goal, and that was actually the last game they closed before COVID. I think there was one game after that. There was one league game after that, so it was literally the last two. But basically, it came time to pray, and I asked one of the stewards, and they gave me a little section to pray in, and no one disturbed me the entire time.
Bro,
So they
that's
let me like. So it was. So everyone, even though they didn't understand what was going on, they knew that I was doing something that needed my privacy. So no one even came into where I was going. Like it was a really cool experience.
That's the ultimate. You just gave me chills, brother. I'm
Yeah,
not
it
even
was
joking.
That's a
really
big deal.
It was a really
I have-
cool experience.
I can't tell you how proud I am to be Napolitan.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
it's making me emotional right now.
I hate to say it, but not all of Italy is that friendly when it comes
No.
to, especially when it comes
No,
down to
I know.
religion.
No,
like-
I'm aware of this. Because I mean, my dad grew up in Genoa. I mean, we still have an apartment there. I mean, people are not that friendly.
No.
In Genoa, you know.
No,
So,
not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's. But I'm.
Can we move on to why?
That's a great
Yes,
story.
Move on to why Napoli are going to win the league.
Before we do,
For that reason, exactly, they're gonna
Damn
win.
Skippy.
There's no other team like it.
Got
Before
mad
we
gods
do-
on our side, you know.
listen. Before we do that, why do you think you're getting less and less and less and less of the racist stuff coming from Naples?
Because
Why?
I know it's because Naples are racially abused themselves. So they understand.
Because Naples understands, and Naples are far from what the rest of Italy is. It's just a fact. You will not find anything racism out of Napoli, and I'm talking about go all the way back. You'll never find it. You'll never find it.
That
You
was
might
what my
find
experience in Milan was at the Milan airport.
Peter. I was just about to say the same thing. That's what my experience in Milan was too. Was because of the simple fact that I spoke in Neapolitan to my mother on the streets of Milan, and I got racial slurs thrown at me for speaking the language. So we know that's why you don't get nothing out of that from Napoli, because we know what it's like, and we operate under do unto others what you want done to yourself. And fatti cazzo tuoi. That's the other thing that we operate under.
Like,
and that's
how
why you never
racist
experience
is
it.
racist when you are against a white person that's not your brand of white? That's like ultimate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, nah, you ain't the same white, so you're not white. Like, I mean that's mind-boggling.
What I don't understand.
Like, how that's
what I don't
hate
understand
beyond hate. Like, that's crazy. That's
what I
cannibalism.
don't understand
That's
is how
trash.
yeah, exactly. How can you be but even like the against black people, how can you be so racist towards black people, a certain fan base or a certain team, when there's effing black people on your team? Like,
that's what I've never understood. That's what
I
I've
don't
never
get
understood.
it. I don't get it.
Like, you've got your own like. So when your black person scores, you'll cheer for him, but when our black person scores, you make monkey. It just makes
monkey noises.
It just makes no sense. But
I mean,
makes no sense.
I'm saying if I'm a
the
black
fact that
person
somebody threw a
on those
banana
teams,
on the field once is beyond anything I can
but never
morally
mind that,
understand.
Raff.
Like,
Let's go more recently. Let's not even talk about what happened to Koulibaly in Fiorentina. Let's talk about Vlahovic in Bergamo.
Oh yeah, that one hurt me.
you're calling him a gypsy.
That one hurt me, bro.
Come on.
And then that stupid interview was like, yeah, so do you want to give me the interview now? Like, you can see.
Right.
This guy's ready to cry.
He's about to cry, and you're like, yeah, let's start the interview. Like, what are you doing, bro?
What are you doing?
Well, and then more on
that was so cringe.
Bro.
We went back and forth, me and you, Mo. That was super cringe.
that one hurt me.
Terrible.
Like the Vlahovic one,
and then
really,
more on the territorial
really
side.
bro.
More on the territorial side, when we played Sampdoria, right? Noi non siamo napoletani. You fucking Quagliarella's Napolitani. What are you talking about?
You know what?
Quagliarella's Napolitani. Your own captain. Your captain is shaking hands with another two Napolitans embracing, and meanwhile, they're saying Noi non siamo Napolitani. Get the fuck out of here.
They wish they were. That's why they're saying.
Well, at least, Rafa, they were playing Napoli that day. What annoys me the most is when these teams fans start doing that chant when they're not playing Napoli. Yeah. It's like, yo, get off our dick. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, I understand banter. It's all good. Even the whole Noi non siamo napolitani when they're playing against us. I mean, I know where it stemmed from. It stemmed from some guy giving a stupid interview talking about us. But you're right. I thought about the same thing. Once I heard that, I'm like, yo, Quagliarella's on the field. Like,
it's the Vesuvio chant and the Colonna chant. That's what
I hate it. I hate it.
I remember the worst part was when we were, who was it? Was it Brescia? Is that in Lombardy, Brescia? Is that right?
Yeah.
This was a couple years. Yeah, so this is right when COVID started, I believe.
Balotelli was on the team.
Was it? Was he on the team at the time?
I believe so.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
This was definitely during like the COVID era, and you had the Brescia people, you know, doing with the whole cholera chant. They put signs up against Napolitani about COVID and all that. Meanwhile, Lombardy is ground zero for COVID-19.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how?
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And what was the Neapolitan response? Not screw you, not boo Brescia. No, it was, guys, banter is banter, but we don't mess around with these things. You know what I mean? Like their response was like, we're not gonna respond. It's like you don't do that. You don't talk about
their exact
those things.
response, Raff, was in times like this there is no hatred. There is no rivalry. In times like this, there is no rivalry.
Right.
That was the bandit translated. I just
Yes,
translated it.
yes,
That was
yes.
the bandera.
You're exactly right.
In times like this, there is no rivalry. So, like, I simply just cannot understand. I get the fact that it's ingrained in most of the mentality for the most part of Italy, but how can you look at yourself in the mirror, or how do you go to sleep at night knowing that there's one person or one group of people that's willing to extend an olive branch and put things to bed during times when you need each other the most, and still go out and make those chants and claims? To me, that is beyond disgusting, and it gets me really angry. And like I said, ever since my experience in Milan, I can't tolerate it anymore. Like anything, not even towards me, not even towards Napolitani, towards anybody. If I see it on the street, if I hear it, I see it online, I get upset, and I'll say something about it, because there's no need for it. There's no need for it at all.
Well, I know how I can make it better right now. There he is, guys. Welcome, Gaetano. We're glad you made it.
Bro, 32 minutes and we've not said anything about football because we were waiting for you.
So we've been 30 minutes just bullshit.
We've just been talking.
Yeah.
But then again, it's called the Renaissance people, so we're talking about everything and anything.
Right.
That's it.
That's the whole point. Well, it's good to have you, Gaetano. I remember the last we called it the Familia episode, but I've changed it since because it was basically everybody in the Renaissance chat. I was like, you know what? Let's keep this going. I know you had some technical issues, but we're glad to have you back. Hey, better late than never. Good to see you, Gaetano.
Appreciate it.
We were just having kind of a grab bag of different topics, really. I mean, it went from Toronto to Napoli to racism to
New York City.
Good time to New York, and it's
robberies and
good things and bad things, but we're all here. But now that Gaetano's here, I guess we can start talking about Napoli a little bit, because I want to really go ahead, Raff.
Hold on, I'm gonna stall this even more.
Okay.
We heard everybody's worst experience in Napoli. Gaetano, you have to have something that kind of like makes one experience in Naples a little bit sour. Anything at all, anything.
Something in Naples that was bad that happened?
Well, yeah, like a bad experience in Naples.
Have you ever had a bad experience in Naples? We always talk about the good times, but we want to see, are there any bad times?
Experience in Naples. I don't. This is gonna sound absurd. I don't think I ever have.
Thank you.
I don't think I ever have. So again,
guess what? Same here.
For those of you that don't know me, like I was born there. I moved to the United States when I was 10, and I've been back a bunch since. No, I can't. I cannot. I've never experienced anything like out of the ordinary bad in like my time there. Never.
Right.
And I brought my wife, I brought my oldest kid, who's now 7, when he was 2. They loved it. You know, my wife is black, for those of you guys don't know. So like you always have like that little bit of trepidation when you go to a new place. So she had never been to Europe. She loved it. She was in the quartieri, you know, like at the bancarelle buying stuff. Nothing but love, you know, for everybody.
Perfect.
It's just you know, there's issues in other parts of the country that I guess you guys already got into.
A little bit.
But
Milan.
So Carmine's was in Milan.
Right.
Raff
Don't
was
take
in Rome.
pictures. Yeah, don't take pictures with gladiators
Salah,
and plastic costumes.
Muhammad's was for like 15 seconds, and then everything was fine.
Yeah.
And Peter's was he went to Napoli Lecce 3-2 Lecce, and that's it. Mine was I went and 8 out of the 10 days it was pouring rain and freezing cold.
And he was wearing Tim's the whole time.
He's wearing Timberlands while playing
I
goalie,
wore
right?
Timbs. I'm not sure. I
he's from
should
New
be
York.
wearing Timbs in New York. Yeah, I wore Timbs on the pitch at Sao Paulo. The blades of grass hit my New York Timbs.
Do you still have those? I would frame those.
I don't, man.
Oh boy, you had to keep them. Tim's last forever. I mean, these
those
things
did
do
not.
not die. Like, I had Timberlands for like 15 years once, the same pair, and I still have them. I love them.
Biz, I gotta say, the red kit looks fire on the video.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree.
It does. Listen, I'll be. No. The kit is nice. The fit, same as Kappa. The stitching, which I thought, I was like, oh, look at this cool stitching, is also the same as Kappa. How's that awesome red jersey fit? Tony says a perfect timing. I was just about to talk about it. The fit this is an XL, but it fits like a medium. You know what I mean? So like it's I'm
basically
not gonna get
Kappa,
up.
Tony. Basically,
Right.
Kappa.
I'm not gonna get up. I look like I'm pregnant.
It's just coupled with a bougie EA7 on the side.
Yeah,
literally.
Right. It's exactly what it is.
$50 more.
Still fire. No, yeah, $50 more, but $50 more, but the personalization is included. So if you were to buy the personalized Kappa jersey, you're spending the same amount of money. So it's all good. It's all good.
I'm waiting for them to stock
Ralph
up on
came out
other
the
stuff
womb
so I
with
can
the
do one big
Timbs.
order.
Yeah, I want other stuff. Yeah.
I would hold off. Now, if you want a jersey, go on and get it. I would probably wait up for the other drip.
You know what? The UK still don't have access to them. Like on Amazon or anything, we still don't have access to.
So why don't we buy it for you and then ship it out?
No, the thing is, like, I've got family in Holland, which is available in Holland and stuff. So I can shipping.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Shipping in Europe is relatively reasonable anyway.
Yeah.
But the same as Gaetano, I'm waiting for everything to be released anyway, so I can just do one big order, like the tracksuits and.
Took Raff 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he had his in 2 weeks.
The only thing I didn't like, so the personalization on the back, I don't know if the press was too hot. A little bit of the red of the jersey bleeds through the white of the lettering. Well, of the numbers in the back.
Koulibaly.
I got a Koulibaly jersey.
It might be because it was too hot. That's probably why.
That's exactly what I think. I think the press was too hot. And
but for $150, you need to get that shit right, man.
Yeah. Not only this, but the blue in the logo is embroidered. Okay, but the N and the circles, they're made from, it's like PVC or rubber. I don't know whatever material this is. All right, it does not sit flush over the circle. So like right about Rafa, I showed you the video. So
yeah,
like
you
right
showed
about
it.
here. Okay, a little bit of that embroidery comes out over the rubber piece. So another small detail wasn't crazy about it.
This review is very detailed.
Ralphie is like detailing this review. He's gonna spend $150 plus.
Yo, when
shipping.
you spend $150 on something, you're gonna
very
look
true.
At
I paid $180 with
Yes.
conversion, tax, and shipping came out to $180 American dollars.
Worth it. Why, Salad? Why is it worth it to buy a jersey from this season?
Because we're winning the league this year.
Exactly.
We're winning the league this year. Like,
so for me, I'm gonna end up
I'm
buying
gonna
all
get
them.
the championship patch on it from the beginning.
Right,
I'm gonna get the championship.
Bro,
patch
I have
on it
one.
right now.
I have one sitting in my friggin' drawer,
Yeah.
waiting to get patched sewn onto something.
I'm gonna get it from the beginning. Serie A champions 2020, 2021. I mean 2021, 2022.
You just gotta put it. You guys gotta either right underneath the EA7 or right in the middle, wherever you want. Just put it.
No,
right
just
there.
put it
right on the sleeve. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful,
Wherever they put it,
beautiful.
probably like under the
Like
they
that
probably
one
put it in the
season, Milan had the Scudetto on their sleeve. It was fire.
Yeah.
It was fire. What season was it? Oh, I think it was their centenary season where they had they wanted to make sure they had their centenary batch like here, so they put the Scudetto here. It was crazy. I loved it. I love unique stuff like that. You know.
Have you guys talked about how much I hate the international break yet, or is that?
We didn't talk about any of that
No,
stuff.
no.
We waited for you.
Talking about Napoli.
Guys,
Yeah,
it's been
We're aspettando per te, you know?
It's been 40 minutes and we've not said anything about football.
Yeah.
Not one thing.
And we might not. I don't know. It's
Renaissance,
just
baby.
like
Rinascimento.
Aspettando per te.
right,
Okay.
Rinascimento. Right, that's what it. All right, so let's do some 86 here. It says spent the bone, sacrificed a couple fingernails and a goat for that jersey.
Yeah.
2 goats, 86.
goats.
By the
It's
way,
worth
2
it.
goats went out for that. All right, let's start a couple questions, guys, and then we'll go with the flow here. I'm gonna start tonight with Gaetano. You just got here. Why don't we throw you into the fire? Are you ready, or you want a few more minutes to warm up?
I'm ready.
You like.
I'm ready.
No, you're ready to go.
Let me get a little stretch. I'm good. Go ahead.
All right.
Ah,
So
my guy.
we
I love Gaetano.
and it's just those vocal cords. But I'd like to get your opinion as to I know you had the technical issues the first show, but we spoke a lot about kind of expectations for this next season, and what can we expect? What do we want to see out of the team? I'd like to get your opinion about, mainly about Spalletti. I know you were on a one of our post-game shows not long ago, and you did touch upon this, but since you're here, so far Spalletti, how is he for you? What do you see different?
Well,
good or bad?
No. Like I said, I was on the fence about Spalletti. You guys, it's on the record on Twitter and through our conversations when he first got hired. But I mean, I think we've all been exceeding expectations, I think is the right term.
Okay.
I've said this in the chat and I've said this on Twitter through our conversations. I still think we're like 40 or 50% of capability as far as playing style. I don't think we nearly understand how he wants us to play it. I think on the back we do. I don't think going forward we're quite there yet.
Okay.
So, I've been joking around. We're never going to lose again. Listen, my expectation going into the season, we're top 4. I think we all agree. But now that I've seen this team play, and even with its flaws, we're finding ways to win.
Right.
We're mentally tough, where that hasn't been the case in the last decade plus. We're pulling games out of nowhere. At this point, I think if we don't win the Scudetto, it'll be disappointing. So
Thank you.
So you guys know me. I think Raff and I have gotten into this the previous seasons. I've always kind of been pessimistic about just as my personality. So for me to say that, I think goes a long way. I hope I'm 100% correct. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm super hyped. This international break killed my vibe. I want to see my Napoli play. I just want to see us keep rolling. I want to see us keep building.
Okay. Rafa?
Okay.
Your response?
And then I'm going to get another beer, Ralph. Okay, I just want you to know. I gotta go get one.
Bye.
Here's the deal. Okay. Yes. I'm like at this point. I'm like Scudetto is possible. I can't not say that right now. Like it would be foolish. It would be foolish. It would be foolish for me to no. But I'm gonna justify why I didn't say it in the beginning.
One by one.
I'm dying right now.
I can't.
I'm drooling, Rafa.
Listen, I cannot in good conscience say that I was excited to win the Scudetto this season, knowing that Inter, without Lukaku and without Hakimi, fine, and Conte, fine. They still got a very good coach in Inzaghi. They still got Dzeko who can do it still, And then Correa came in, and I'm like, oh, no. I rate Correa very highly. So with Ronaldo leaving, that bumped Napoli from 3rd to 2nd for me, and Inter from 2nd to 1st, and I had Juventus slip down to 4th. Because I know that come hell or high water, with Ronaldo and Allegri on the same squad, they were going to win the Scudetto. Even though Ronaldo's gone, and it is the best opportunity for Napoli to win the Scudetto. They still have a new manager. They hadn't had Anguissa yet when, by the time I made my I haven't seen Anguissa in a match, and we're 7 of 7. So now it's easy for me to say that, you know what I mean? But and everybody says, oh, well, who did you play? Doesn't matter who we played. We played Juventus. Doesn't matter that they were depleted. We beat the crap out of them. And then we beat Fiorentina, which was very, very difficult on the road, considering how they've been looking and the way they played Inter and Roma and didn't get a win against them. They could have gotten points from them very easily. So for me, we haven't played. At the time, Udinese was unbeaten. We're going to Genoa for Sampdoria. These are tough matches. Yes, we didn't play Roma yet. Inter, Lazio, Milan, fine. But it's in the mannerisms. It's the way we're playing. It's the way we're winning. It's the way we're finding ways to win. It's the way we're kicking ass and taking names. It's all that combined with Mertens is coming back. Demme's coming back. Zielinski was coming back from his little injury. Lobotka will be back soon. Meret, this and that. Like this guy said, even tired, we're getting results. I'm sorry, we never win that game against Leicester, even though we drew. We don't even draw that game against Leicester last season. And then, we lost to Spartak. Listen, these things happen. We still came back. We still fought. We still did what we had to do. And for me, now I can say with confidence, Napoli can win the Scudetto. I'm just really scared that we're going to turn into a Milan where middle of the season, we're going to start faltering. And also, it's really like, and then I'll let you guys speak, but it's really shitty to me that we've won 7 matches from 7, okay? And we're only 2 points in front of Milan and 4 in front of Inter, where if this was Juventus, they'd already be like 21 points in front of everybody else. You know what I mean? So it's that annoying that they're right there, right on our backs. But I feel like we have the team, the depth. I feel like we have the moxie to do this. I do now. So I will go on record and say I'm not going to change my prediction. I don't want to change my prediction, but I'm saying Napoli can win the Scudetto this season. They can do it. They can do it.
That's all I ask for, honestly. Carmine.
Now I'm going to get a beer. I'll be right back.
All right, go get a beer. Okay. So Carmine,
I'm gonna wait for Rafa to come back before I say anything.
Okay, cool. We're gonna. All right. So. Carmine, I had mentioned it earlier backstage before we got on about.
Sir.
Hold on here, Ralph. Cool. Grab another beer. Okay. When last time Serena was on, he spoke about accountability. So I just kind of want to stretch the conversation a little bit as far as like, hey, Byron, it's just gonna be me and you, Carmine, in a minute left. Like, I ain't going anywhere. Everybody left. Everybody, all right.
Let's do this car. I'm in the car.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm in the car.
Gaetano's in the car. He couldn't.
I'm in the car. I got.
Carmine got kicked out. Gaetano got kicked out the house.
I got sent out. I got sent out.
What happened?
Food.
I went to get the beer.
This guy went to get a beer. This guy went into the car.
I went to get water.
He went to get water.
Hold on.
Are you guys still there?
I'm listening the whole time. And I'm like, everyone's leaving.
We almost lost everybody, Raff.
As soon as Rafa got up, everyone's like, "Yeah, you know what? Let's just give."
Yeah, you know what? Right? Yeah,
break.
It's a union break or something.
Is that Gaetano's eyes right there? Look at that.
No,
I'm in the car. I'm in the car.
That's his head right here.
That's in the little corner, like popping.
That's a little ball. The ball shiny head. You guys can see it there, right?
It's so funny. That's hilarious, man.
Bro, my wife is like, "What are you doing? Go pick up the food." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna pick up the food." What do you want me to tell you?
That's dedication, bro.
You're talking. You're talking, but I see a still of your head sticking out.
Yeah.
The bottom left.
Don't worry, that's even better.
It's perfect.
Gaetano, there's a panther behind you. You better run.
Gaetano, you look like that dude. You look like the dude from Mortal Kombat 2 that pops out and goes.
That's right. That's right. Oh, the guy with the toasty. That guy.
Yeah.
Toasty.
Screenshot this. You gotta screenshot this. This is great stuff. Oh my god!
Wow.
All right.
I
This is
genuinely
hilarious,
thought
guys.
there was like a dragon behind him for a second.
Yeah, it's a panther. It's a panther from the old Napoli jersey.
I love that.
The Panther.
Halloween
No,
decoration?
Napoli jersey.
Napoli.
Oh, I see that.
Panther
Yeah, it
jersey
does
is
look like
behind
that. That's
Gaetano.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wait,
We got
Ralph,
some of
was
the
that-
best
was that-
teasing moments on this show.
Was that
man.
was that Nima saying "Wow"? Wow.
It does sound like him, right?
Wow.
That sounds like
Wow.
Nima.
It does.
Somali.
Wow.
Where's he at?
Napoli's the best.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Napoli win the Scudetto.
This is a mess.
What,
So-
what were we even talking about?
I don't even know. Like,
remember.
let's just, does it matter?
I don't know.
Someone, Salad was about to
It's not
dog me about what I said.
Peter, take over. Don't even fuck it. I mean,
Uh,
so I mean, we were talking about accountability, right? That was one of the
okay.
things that Sereno had came up, had mentioned last time. What is that? What the fuck is going on here?
I think Gaetano's on a delay. I think Gaetano's on a delay.
You never know when you get here on the road.
You're gonna hear random laughing now.
Oh wow!
Okay.
All
Okay. All right. All right.
This episode, man. All right, let's
All right.
get through this.
Best episode.
I love this episode, but this is why this is like my favorite part of being with the Renaissance people. It's this. So, all right, some about accountability. Take it away, Carmine.
Okay.
We still can't. Say whatever you want. It's all right.
Going on accountability. I am overly stimulated right now. I can't even think.
Hey, this is the international break episode.
Yeah.
I have
Right.
like,
All-
nothing going to my brain right now.
No holds barred.
So yeah, going off for accountability, I'll get what Sereno was trying to say, and I can't remember if he talked about it with like we often have these conversations when we're watching at the bar about the team, like comparing from this year to last year. I don't really compare from this year to last year, but going off the accountability factor, there's one thing that I honestly at the beginning of the season, I'm going to tie this in with like the Scudetto thing that we were talking about. I didn't expect us to win Scudetto. That's because I'm a pessimist, and you guys already know this. Like
Okay.
I know this.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't expect them to do like I don't expect them to win basically. And I thought, given the other teams like Ralph said,
Peter Scala
it's
commenting
weird.
while live.
just take it. You're here. Just,
Peter Scala hasn't talked
No,
in like
this
half
is-
an hour. He's
this
like,
is-
fuck it, I'll just comment.
commenting.
This is classic stuff, bro.
Just put your
man.
opinion in the chat, guys. I'll put it up while we're talking.
But yeah, with the other teams, Allegri coming back, I'm thinking, okay, Allegri's a coach who knows how to win. He can get something out of this Juventus team. Inter still looks pretty good. Milan's going to be a bit of a problem. So I'm thinking, you know what, top four, I can take top four, ride with it, and don't worry about Scudetto if it doesn't happen.
Okay.
But looking at this team now, and this is going to tie in with the accountability factor,
Okay.
is the fact that the thing that I overlooked from Luciano Spalletti was the fact that he is a sports psychologist.
Okay.
He has, I think it's either a master or a PhD. I think it's a PhD, but I can't remember exactly in sports psychology. And basically, what this guy can do now is take a team that has been mentally weakened over the last 3 or 4 years, losing a Scudetto by making record numbers that would have won the Scudetto 14 of the last 15 years. A team that went into mutiny, lost their coach halfway through the season, got in a new coach, change of identity, problems within the locker room, problems with the coaching staff and other things. And all of this over time just weakens you mentally as a team.
Okay.
What
True.
Spalletti did is he offered something that, as much as I love Gattuso's a great motivator, not the greatest of tacticians, but he got it right sometimes. What Spalletti offered is the new mentality of the fact that it's more of a cohesive mentality where it's not just the individuals that take control of that locker room, but it's a team it's a group collective now that all has to come together for things to work. If you don't have a group collective that has the same mindset, the same identity, something, then nothing is going to be cohesive. And a part of that is accountability. Each player, even though it is a group identity, it's no greater than its sum of parts. Everyone has to contribute into that formation of a stronger mentality.
Okay.
And taking players who have come off a Euro win, Di Lorenzo, Insigne,
I've always
Meret,
been a big proponent of that.
that's a big
Always.
component of that.
Right.
And
Always.
I think using that high and getting them to realize their potential in which they couldn't realize it before, either through, I don't know, disagreements that they've had in the past, etc. Using that accountability factor, taking your captain and showing them that potential and that realization, and then getting everyone else on board, using the captain as a role model into that identity of accountability. Everyone has to play their part. Everyone has to do same thing, same mindset.
Their job,
Everything
right.
comes together to form a tighter bond in that team, a stronger identity. And that's why we're seeing the results that we're seeing right now. Last season, the first 3 games, 2-0 against Venezia. You miss a penalty shot and a red card. We get a tie out of that game in the previous seasons. Genoa, you're tied 1-1 going into the 85th minute. Knowing that team from the past few seasons, they would have had their head down. They would have said, it's a point. We can't do nothing else about it.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
get out of here. No, they just said, no, we're taking 3 points. Whether they liked it or not, we're taking 3 points today. That was the change of mentality for that. The game against Juventus, down 1-0 to a terrible goal.
Yeah.
Like, basically a
Mistake.
free goal.
A mistake,
A free
right?
goal. It was a free goal. It was a mistake. Being down 1-0 to a Juventus that's playing Catenaccio because they're depleted, so they just want to hold off and take as many points as they can. They're still able to come back in the second half and take 3 points. The game against Leicester City, which is probably the best example, you go down 2-0. I can't name
Almost
you a
3.
single-
Almost 3.
Almost 3. I can't name you a single Napoli team that would have been able to come up with
Come
points
back.
from that game.
I agree.
I couldn't name you from the time I started watching Napoli in about 2010 up until this point. I couldn't name you one team that would have been able to do that, and they were able to do that. So I think Spalletti has brought in this stronger mentality, the stronger identity, and used his components that he had handed to him with Insigne captain coming off a Euro win, using his genius basically in sports psychology, and just using all of his components to create a stronger identity to get what he needs out of the players to succeed in this campeonato.
Gotcha.
Can I add real quick? The game against Fiorentina, where we come back from losing at home to Spartak, and then we're down 1-0 to Fiorentina.
Yeah.
Boom.
Even in that Spartak game, by the way, like a red card.
Yeah.
A red card for 70 minutes, and you still put in 2 goals. That's a shift. If you tell me, I can't be mad at that at all.
Listen, it's in my opinion, had Insigne not been the one to come out,
yes, I agree.
I think that game could have been a whole different result.
Also, if Zielinski put the ball in the back of the net that was right to his foot.
Well, over the net, you mean?
Yeah.
Over the net. If he had put it in, but if he had put it in at 2-0, it's a different game, whether you're down 10 men or not. It's a different match.
Yeah, that game was truly on the wire. I feel like it could have gone really any other way. It was unfortunate that we did take a loss.
I was pissed about it, but I'm over it.
Worried.
I'm over
it. But I think we were pissed, but at the same time, I feel like the general consensus was that not everybody was worried. And I think that's the biggest difference. Listen, like I said, we speak about mentality, right? We also have to speak about our own mentality sometimes as fans.
And that's what annoys me the most, by the way. And that's what I want to speak about the most. Like when it's my turn. Yo, my thing is, why are we as fans...
Peter, you all right?
So,
I'm good.
Like,
I'm good.
Like,
I thought you were holding
a response to salad. I got a response.
Okay,
no, I'm saying, like, why are we as fans so scared to say we're gonna win the Scudetto? Like, why is it such an out of the realm possibility? Even before the season started, I understand the PTSD. Like, bro, I've gone through it as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I get it. Like, we've bottled it before, but I genuinely feel like this Napoli team is better and has more depth than any Napoli team we've ever had, right? This Napoli team is as good as the Sarri team, but a much better bench than the Sarri team.
Sure.
Even before that, before the Anguissa signing, I was where Raff was now. Napoli can win the Scudetto. As soon as Anguissa came, and because I watched the Premier League and I know what he brings to the table, I was like, okay, now there's no reason that Napoli should not win the league. You say, like, you compared us to Raff at some point, compared us to Milan last year when they were leading. Milan should never have been leading the league last year. Milan were never the best team in the league, you know? So I don't see us capitulating like that. You feel me?
I do. No, I do. And I understand. I understand the like for me.
If you look at Milan last year, they were getting all of these penalties and everything was
of
going
course.
their way. Like
Yeah,
that
and
was
they don't have
never
a bench
gonna
like we have.
sustainable. And someone said that at the beginning. I'm not sure. I think it was Gaetano, right? Like Napoli are nowhere near where we could be by the end of the season. Like Napoli have so many levels to hit. Like right now, we're just grinding results that we normally wouldn't get. We're winning games based on mentality and hard work and effort right now. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that's something we didn't have before. Last year, these 7 games, we would have won 4. 3 or 4 at the very, very most. We would have lost 1 and drawn 2, definitely.
Drawn another, right?
Like Napoli haven't even hit our offensive stride properly yet. Like when we start playing properly, we're gonna start blowing teams out.
Right. I said that there is another. I feel like there is another level.
There's another level
that we have to reach, and that's going to be the cheekiness that Spalletti talked about.
Bro, this is the best. This is the best chance Napoli have to win the league. Like Insigne's in his prime, Koulibaly's in his prime. They're all getting old. At some point.
Well, we were a point away with what 4 or 5 games left not that long ago. So I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I agree. I'm excited. Like I know I've been more on the negative side. Like I don't understand how much Napolitans are just totally gonna poop on the Napoli. What's it? The Napolitan curse, I guess, or jinx. Like,
yeah.
I'm not touching that yet. I don't want to say anything about Napoli winning Scudetto.
No, I know, man. It's a real thing.
Listen, watch the last episode with Dom. I completely renounced superstition. I'm done with superstition. It hasn't worked in the past. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm putting strength in the air. You know,
we were 1 point away after we beat Juventus with 4 games left. We've won winter Scudettos before. I'm not saying Napoli can't win the Scudetto, but 7 games is a small sample size. There's a lot of season left.
We won 8 games that season. We won our first 8.
But this is a completely different team, bro. Like
that's what I'm on.
No, it is.
And also, although Sarri was an incredible coach, right, and he did amazing. We have to admit, Sarri was forget the bench. There was nobody on the bench to use. Are you going to bring on? Are you going to bring on? Are you going to bring on Dio? Who was the other midfielder that we used to bring on? Rogue every single year, bro. Come on. And also, another thing is Sarri was very one-dimensional. Napoli can score from set pieces now. We're scoring from corners now. We can kick the ball long to Osimhen now. We can play around you now. We can cross it. Like Napoli can score in so many different ways. It's ridiculous. And on top of that, if Napoli are losing at halftime, bring on Lozano, bring on Unas, bring on Zielinski. Like we've got so many options now. Bring on Petagna and just put crosses in, which is what we did against Leicester to equalize. Napoli have so many different ways to score now. It's a completely different team. This is nothing like 2017. Nothing.
So I agree. Napoli do have, and actually, there's I can't remember the last time Napoli been a threat on free kicks and corners. But my point is, it's 7 games. There's a lot of seasons to go.
No,
7 games.
I think the point is,
but Pete, sorry, just last thing. A lot of people like when I now tweet these things, or Napoli have to win the league, it'll be a disappointment. People are saying it because of the 7 games. Like, I mean, Raff will tell you. I was saying this before the season started. Like these 7 games are just vindication. These 7 games are just vindication for what I was saying, and I expect it to carry on.
Right.
I think because
I'm happy.
Peter
and I are happy to be proven wrong. Trust me.
Oh yeah, if Napoli won this Scudetto, I'll be just as happy as you.
Listen, but you have to understand. Here's why I said it. Here's why. Okay, you said that this is the best chance that Napoli have to win the Scudetto from the beginning of the season. You said that.
Yeah.
The reason I disagreed, past tense, was before we even kicked the ball, mind you, was because We have a new manager who has to implement new ideas. I know it was similar to Gattuso style. It's Spalletti style, really.
But it's the same thing with Inter Milan. The only difference is they've lost their 2 best players. Like Inter Milan are starting with a new coach, but they've lost their 2 best players. We've not lost anybody. So what makes you think that Inter Milan would have finished above us?
I was
because they won the Scudetto.
I didn't think so.
No, I get that, but they lost their 2 best players and their manager.
Okay.
But at the beginning of the season, I had Juventus winning it. I waited until after the Mercato to make my official 1-20, and I had Inter doing it, and I simply gave it to them, like Peter said, because they won the Scudetto the last season. They did get rid of some of their best players. They got rid of their goal scorer, but in the first 2 games, and then getting Correa at the trade, at the Mercato end. For me, that was it. Like, I was like, okay, Inter, I can give Inter the respect that they are as champions to put them in first place. And Napoli a very close second. Like just because I had Napoli in second and third when I had made my initial predictions doesn't mean I didn't say. I always said it's going to be close. It's going to be real close. Right. And then Napoli can win the Scudetto, but I don't think they will. Because last season, even though I keep saying, and I'll reiterate it all season long. Last year, we don't win this game. Last year, we tied that game. Last year, if it wasn't for the injuries that we had last season, and I mean the entire squad was depleted.
Yeah,
we finished top 4. We finished second, like 2 points behind Inter. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, if we win our last game of the season, we finished second anyway.
Exactly.
And that's having the most injuries in the league. We've got an even more competent head coach now.
And
Inter have gotten worse.
Exactly.
Inter have gotten worse.
For me. But I can't. I don't know. I don't know if Inter got. I know they got worse because of Lukaku. Yes, for sure. And Conte's gone too.
But it shouldn't be about Inter getting worse. It should be about Napoli getting better. And that's what listen, when I had called out that, hey, Napoli could be a contender, is it a little biased? Yes. Am I kind of rolling the dice a little bit? Maybe. But here's the deal. I looked at Napoli. I was like, what do Napoli need? Like, what else do we need to win a Scudetto, right? For a while, it was a striker. Then it was the coach. We got all those things now. We got a little bit of depth. So
we can still use left
if
back.
I'm doing a process of elimination, right?
Yo, Mario Rui has been the best left back in the league so far this year.
Yeah, but what happens when Koulibaly's gone
without him?
What happens when Koulibaly's gone for 5 games?
That's a good question. I guess. Listen, I understand what you're saying, Peter, because of the African Cup of Nations. We're gonna lose the spine of the team. I get it. It's gonna be a true testament.
Have you seen who we play in those 5 games that they're all gone? We don't need Koulibaly, Osimhen, and Anguissa to beat Salernitana, Bologna, and what's it called, Spezia. And Venezia. Those are the 4 games, and Juventus. Those are the 4 games plus Juventus that we play in the month of the African Cup of Nations. We don't need the spine of the team to beat these teams. But we've got good enough replacements to beat these guys. That's the point I'm making.
The players that everybody talks about why Napoli, could win this, Koulibaly, Osimhen, Anguissa, they're all leaving. Like, I get these are easier teams, but that's still
but Peter, I'm gonna say something real quick.
But we don't need those guys to beat these guys, though.
We beat Genoa without Osimhen. We had Petagna in there. We beat Genoa. You know what I mean? So if we're playing Salernitana, we'll beat them.
It's mainly Koulibaly.
It's literally Bologna
for sure.
It's Bologna, Spezia, Salernitana. What's it called? Venezia and Juventus, and that's it. Like, we should be beating these teams without our first team.
But we've seen it happen before, and I won't be surprised if it happens again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, the only thing that worries me is that that in January we start playing Coppa Italia, so we're gonna have to rotate Coppa Italia. So these guys that normally will rotate, where Koulibaly comes in or Anguissa or whatever, we're gonna be playing in Coppa Italia. You know what I mean? So they're gonna have double duty. But it's all good because Lobotka was playing his ass off. Dem is back.
Right. Throw these guys in.
It's
Throw
all
in
good.
Zanoli.
For me,
Throw
it's
in
all good.
Unas.
Here's
Flip
my
the whole
thing.
team. Put in
Here's-
I
Patazio.
don't care
Who
about no
cares?
Coppa Italia.
Won't Unas be in the? Oh, you
Come
can't
on,
throw
man.
I
Unas
know
in.
you don't, Salah. I
Unas-
know you don't. Listen, that's another thing I want to talk about. Is the
we're winning
fans
the
don't
league.
care about these competitions, but the players still want to win everything that they're in. It's like we slag off the Europa League. I say we. When I say we, I mean you guys. I don't mean me. I want
I
everything.
don't care about the Europa League.
But I
Pete.
guarantee you, Napoli wants to win the Europa League. I 100% guarantee you that.
I'm
Just
sure they
because
do.
they rotated
they
doesn't
do.
mean they don't want to win it. Okay.
Let Carmine chime in here a little bit.
Go ahead,
I'm
Carmine.
sure they do. Like I'm sure they want to win the Europa League, but I can almost guarantee that right now what they're fixated on is the league. So I get it. Like, yeah, you want to win. You want to go as far as you can because guess what? It's money. It's money in the pocket. As far as you can go, you still get money out of those competitions. So they want to go as far as they can go. But when push comes to shove and you need to focus on one thing, I'd much rather. What's up?
The Europa League
Oh.
trophy.
Oh, there it is. I don't know where you're pointing at. As when push comes to shove, I would rather focus on one thing and do really well at that rather than focus on other things and gamble it all away.
Carmine, but you're gambling that way, if you ask me, because if it
gamble,
doesn't happen, if the Scudetto doesn't happen, and we've just decided to bottle the Europa League, a la 2017-18, then we walk away with Mango Gats. You know what I mean? Then what? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's going to happen. What I'm saying is I think we need to give respect to Europe. Forget the Coppa Italia. Fine.
It's not that we're not giving respect. It's the fact that we have to choose what you want to focus on the most. It's not that you're not giving respect to it. You have to give respect to it. And like I said, you want to go as far as possible. But like I said, when come January, when we start entering these competitions, at some point you may have to start choosing what you want to focus on the most, and that's going to include like how you're going to go out and play these games, squad rotation. And don't get me wrong, this team can still. Let's take for example, we were talking about the Cup of Nations, African Cup of Nations. I can't remember what the competition is called.
Yeah,
you take out Anguissa, you take out Osimhen, Unas, Koulibaly. You still have on defense Mario Rui, Manolas, Ratmani, Di Lorenzo.
Thank you.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Midfield.
You have Deme and Fabi. Yes, sir.
Zielinski too.
Lobotka.
You put
the only miss that we're gonna have is probably Osimhen for those 5 games.
But still,
right? Because you need. But then again,
Pedagna, Politano,
Lozano. Right? We didn't even say Lozano yet. The guy can score.
You can still get away with those games. So
right.
But do any of you doubt that Petagna can bully Bologna and Spezia and Venezia? Of course not. He can. You know. Yeah. Obviously, Osimhen adds a whole new dimension to your team. But the African Cup of Nations, I promise you, that month does not worry me at all because of the fixture list that we have. I wouldn't be surprised if we win 4 and draw the Juventus game. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Here's what I need from Napoli to be okay with Cup of Nations, and I agree with almost everybody that everything that everybody says. I think we can be fine without the Africans. I'm okay with it, right? But here's what I need. I need Napoli to win their group in the Europa League. That's what I need. I need that. Here's why I need that. Because our players go all the way in the African Cup of Nations. So who do we have? We have Anguissa on Cameroon. Likely that they won't. Algeria with Unas. Possible that they could. They're on a tear, right?
And Senegal can go all the way.
Senegal, Koulibaly, and possibly even Nigeria. I mean, they had a.
Those are probably the 3 semifinal teams. Nigeria, Senegal, and Algeria are likely.
The worst thing that could happen is Cameroon, Algeria, Nigeria, and Senegal in the semifinals. And we lost these guys until February 6th. Now, February 6th, right? Mm-hmm. These guys they've been away. They have to come back. I'm sure they're going to get some sort of a rest unless they come back in and play right away.
They're coming back?
February 6th is the final. So what's the next match after February 6th? Salah, if you want to look it up for me.
Right now.
Okay, February 6th is the final. Okay, February the week after that is Europa League comes back, but it's the extra playoff round.
Okay,
it's not
on the 6th we play Venezia. On the 13th, the week after that, we play Inter Milan.
Okay, and the week after that is the first Europa League knockout stage,
and then
match.
Cagliari, and then Lazio and Milan. That February is going to be a huge month for Napoli in the Scudetto race because it's the second round. It's because it's the second round versus Inter Milan, the second round versus Lazio, and the second round versus Milan. And then we only have Atalanta and
those are all at home though, right?
Yeah.
Inter Milan's at home, AC Milan's at home, Lazio's away. Yeah.
I do like that about the schedule. The harder games, the second leg is not most of them Napoli play at home.
Hey,
didn't we go through this last year too? And we beat Milan. We tied
away.
We beat Juve. That's what I'm trying to, guys. Like I'm looking at a little bit of history.
We did this last year with Gattuso, the guy who's got no tactics, with everybody injured. Like,
okay, but that was
4 Primavera players.
Oh,
you know,
well,
like
I mean, okay, yeah, but his goal was top 4, and we didn't make top 4. So that's.
But by the skin of our teeth, though.
Yeah, we barely missed out.
Yeah, but if we barely miss out first place, it's still you don't get first place.
But come on. But the point I'm trying to make is to like even the credit that we give Juve. Juve last year, right? By one goal that Napoli couldn't make against Verona. One extra. I mean, I think there was other points that we lost from other games. Really, that was
game.
The Sassuolo game, the fucking 4 million shots against Spezia that didn't go in, and a few other points that we dropped. But when you think about it, even Juve was 1 goal away against Verona from not making Champions League. Yet they get the benefit of the doubt because of Allegri. Sorry, no offense, Rafa, but we give him the benefit of the doubt to win the league,
bro.
Just because of Allegri.
That's a story.
Wait a minute.
I understand that, but
this Juve team under Allegri. Listen to me, Ralph. I get what you're saying, and I'm with you, dude. I really am. But this Juve team with Allegri and Ronaldo, come on. If Ronaldo was on the team,
okay, can I tell you something though? Previous years, Juventus had good core of players. Juventus, if you look at their team, are atrocious right now. There's no reason they should even share the field with this Napoli team. There's no reason for it.
That's one of the reasons why I have them in 4th now. Without Ronaldo, they're
no, bro. Even with Ronaldo, I wasn't worried about them. Because look at their team. There's literally nothing and nobody.
They're not a team. They're not a team.
There's no cohesion.
Yeah, I get it.
All of those years, they had good midfield. They had an incredible midfield. Like the year they won it in 2018. Who was playing in midfield for them? They had Chiellini and Bonucci and Barzagli still playing at a very, very elite level. They had Higuain scoring 30 plus goals. They had Mandzukic coming off the bench doing whatever he was doing. They had a really good midfield. Like they've got nobody now.
Yeah.
Are you guys really telling me you're scared of Locatelli and Ramsey and Rabiot?
I mean, not Ramsey and Rabiot, but Locatelli, Chiesa.
I'm more scared of Berardi on Sassuolo than I am of anything on Juve. I'll be honest
bro,
with you. I'm more scared of Sassuolo and Empoli than I am of Juventus.
Players on that team too, and that's Chiesa and Locatelli, and we're worried about them because of history. Come on, man.
It's don't forget last year's history.
Okay, well, I'm not worried about Juventus. Juventus they're a non-factor. Like
who else worries you?
They're a non-factor. It's Inter. It's to a smaller extent Milan. Those are the two. Inter and Milan.
Roma.
But listen,
I don't think Roma are because Mourinho is a good coach. He's a great coach, but he's.
Bro, the fact that you said Milan had Giroud starting up front is a worry. It's crazy to me, bro. Milan had Olivier Giroud starting up front. Like, how can that be a worry for you? It can't. Like, there's no reason.
I think Milan's
Inter Milan, I understand. Inter, I understand because they kept essentially the same squad from last year. They're champions. They deserve that kind of respect, even though I think they've got significantly worse. Because Lukaku and Dzeko is a complete, that's a massive drop-off, right?
And we still, we lost by 1 goal. That was a penalty kick against them, and then we tied them. So even with the better players last year, we still compete with Inter, right? So this is what I'm trying to say.
Napoli's problem is never playing against the big teams. Against the big teams,
right?
It's
Sassuolo and Empoli that we need to worry about this season.
It's consistency,
you know what I mean?
against full teams, and that's what Spalletti brings you. Spalletti brings you the experience to win these games that are usually difficult for us. Napoli, we have the talent to compete with anyone. We can go away to the Bernabeu and we can go to the new camp and play football with these guys because we're that good.
Raff, I want Carmine to chime in here because I know he's been patiently waiting. Carmine,
that's okay.
Throw it out there. I'm sorry, Rafa. I just, I want to give him a chance to speak before we go.
I kind of lost my train of thought, to be honest with you. I was going to say something, and then it just escaped.
Then let me mention this really quick because then hopefully you get it back.
Yeah.
Ancelotti had the same pedigree, if not better than Spalletti.
Luca. Sorry?
Napoli. No, that's okay. Luca says, put that back up. I want to read it. Napoli are taking care of games against smaller and mid-table clubs. We also have the squad to go up against the top teams and take more points than we lose. I felt this way about Napoli's chances in Ancelotti's second season, the season we ended up having a mutiny. For me, you said, does Napoli ever had a better chance to win the Scudetto? For me, that was it. That was it because you had the core team still together. Callejon was still there. You had Lozano coming in. You had who else did we get? With Lozano, we had Fabian in the second season. We had Manolas came in. We had all this opportunity. We had all this opportunity with Carlo Ancelotti while Inter were an unknown with a new manager. Milan had a new manager. Atalanta was the only team. Atalanta, and I think it was one other team. Lazio was Simone Inzaghi.
Ancelotti was a disaster, though, to be fair.
Oh, but he was a disaster in the second season. In the first season, he came in a respectable second. Nobody was catching Juventus. Nobody was catching Juventus.
It wasn't really respectable. We were like 21 points behind them. But
at the end of the season, we ended up like 7, I think it was. But at this,
that's because they won the league in March.
No, I get that. I get that, but we were also miles ahead of everybody else in third. We had second, grasped second place. You know what I mean? It was Napoli were in second, and nobody was catching us. You know what I mean? So fine, Juventus had their team. They had their last season with Allegri. You know what I mean? And that was that was their last season with Allegri. Or am I wrong? Was that the Sarri season? No, that was the last season with Allegri.
Ancelotti's second year was Sarri's first year for you. Okay,
so Ancelotti's first year was Allegri's last season. Mm-hmm. So for me, the season we ended up having a complete capitulation was it at the beginning of the season, guys. We're arguing where we stood at the beginning of the season. I think right now, it's fair to say that 4 out of 5 of us here think Napoli can win the Scudetto and will win it. Peter, I know you have your doubts. To win. No. I'm just saying nobody doesn't want them to win, but I'm saying at this point I think they could. I'm trying to justify what I said in the beginning of the season. Napoli had another shot at this Scudetto with Ancelotti, while everybody around them in the top 4, except for Atalanta, had new management and new styles of play. Whatever. Ancelotti was the constant. Got better.
Yeah, but he ended up losing the locker room. So
I'm talking about at the beginning of the season. I'm talking about before all that stuff happened.
I understand, but
at that point in time, it was Napoli, and it was a long shot. Now I said it. Now again, I'm very optimistic. I'm always optimistic, but I rarely put Napoli as we're going to win the Scudetto this season. And that was the season. Hold on, that was the season I had them winning the whole thing. I said Napoli got this Scudetto. Didn't happen. So you can see our reservations. As we get a new manager, as we have the. I'm not doubting the players on the pitch, but something always happens with us. Always.
Because it's those little pieces we miss. Yeah. And it's mentality. And this was the biggest factor that I've seen this is where I've seen they've grown the most. I see a different I hated Insigne at the beginning of last season. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing on the field? Sulking and moaning all day long. Look at him now, setting up his team for success. We didn't have a good striker for years. Since Higuain, let's keep it real. Okay, Mertens came in to do his thing fine. But let's be honest. We haven't had a true number 9 since Higuain. Because Malik, with his injuries, was a mess. We only had a good Malik for about 30 days.
Healthy Milik was terrible as well.
Yeah,
Well, he was
even
okay.
healthy
When we played to him, no, he scored almost every game.
Milik in the
September.
beginning. Milik in the beginning,
he was
I
good.
was like,
'Cause
yo,
we
this
played
dude.
towards
Okay,
him.
he wasn't terrible. He wasn't terrible, but like
Mo, what happened with Malik is that after the injuries, he wasn't in the squad anymore.
Healthy
you know what I'm trying to say?
Healthy Milik after the first injury was done. After the first injury was over.
Think about this. Okay,
And when did he get hurt? The international
but in the
break.
last
30
10
days,
years,
like
in the last
September
10
30th.
years, in the last 10 years, even Milik at his absolute best is the worst number 9 that we had.
Oh,
Even
for
at
sure.
his best,
Yeah.
even at his best,
Yes.
like Cavani, Osimhen, Higuain, Mertens, like he was
100%.
the worst.
100%.
So, like, and the drop off is not even like a small drop off. Like he's
Right.
far inferior to these guys.
We've had inconsistencies in midfield. Now we see a better one. We see Fabian
midfield
Ruiz
in
is
Serie
a
A.
new player. I hated Fabian Ruiz. He's a new player. He's one of
I
my
think we all
favorites.
hated Fabian
The-
Ruiz, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean,
we all hate, right? Totally new player now. And Guisa, you take a picture?
Yeah.
So- like my new jersey.
Pose,
No.
motherfucker.
So this,
I'm gonna say this
90s
about
pose.
Anguissa. Anguissa is the signing of a decade.
Is
the
the
decade.
glue.
That's what I'm saying,
It is
yo.
the final piece. It's
got
like
the
you know
strength.
in
We
got
those
the
movies
midfielder.
where you
We
like
kept the center back. We got
Yeah.
the and Spalletti. I know a lot of people here were saying about the mid year. I'm sorry, mid season. You know, down and out thing. I mean, Napoli have suffered it, but I feel like as if Spalletti's time off, he was able to reflect, look inward a
yes.
little bit. He seems like a
changed.
new man out there.
this guy
He
was
seems
this guy
like a
was-
very
this
good-
guy was like zooming in on Napoli or something.
Yeah, he had his
was-
time to study. He knew.
no,
I wasn't
it
sad
does
about him
seem.
leaving.
It just
Now I'm glad he stayed.
who.
Who was that scoundrel?
I
Let
don't
us know.
I'm gonna guess Fabian.
There's probably
probably
Fabian.
Fabian,
But
yeah.
but I'm serious.
I'm not.
like-
I'm not really surprised about Fabian. I mean, this is what happens when you have an actual defensive midfielder with him because Deme is not really a CDM. I mean, it gives him the license to kind of
Go for
have
it.
fun, so to
Right.
speak, because Anguissa kind of he does a bit of everything, which is
we got
incredible.
2 goalies. We got 2 wingers. We got
But
like 6 midfielders.
Here's the thing, like with Fabian too now, is that if you're watch Fabian's role in this Napoli, he's not playing an advanced role. He's playing deeper. He's a playmaker, and Anguissa is just there just to feed him the ball and win it
But
back.
Anguissa's allowing him to move up a little
Exactly.
bit too. He's
Yeah.
starting in the
Allowing him.
back and he's allowing him to move up.
But,
Yeah.
but that's exactly where you needed Fabian in past years. All he had beside him was Zielinski and
Deme.
at times.
and a
Deme,
bad
as good as he
Lobotka.
is, at times Lobotka, but not really.
No, but he was bad last year. Lobotka's a very
But
new player now.
He never got a
Yeah.
shot. Lobotka never
Yeah.
got a shot.
Yeah.
That's
Come
the
on,
thing.
Mo. Even Lozano's last few games, you got to admit he's been doing pretty good. Has a better eye for
bro,
goal.
Yeah, by the way, right, and I had this conversation with the guys in Canada when we went to the game. I don't have anything against Lozano. Like I think he's an incredible player. I just prefer Politano because he brings something different. That I mean, obviously the Lozano banter is dumb. He's terrible, all of that. But but honestly, I think he adds a whole new dimension to Napoli. Like I think he's crucial. He's one of the reasons why I'm confident that we can win the league this year. Because when Politano starts, you can bring on Lozano in the 60th minute and he can just run past everyone. So it's
Right.
beautiful to have this. And him and Politano are such different players that for different matches you can choose which one you want to play. I just prefer Politano because his playing style suits Napoli more because of the intricate passing, the little link up that he has with Di Lorenzo. It's just something that I prefer more.
You know what's crazy
So-
to me? Going back to Anguissa really quick.
Mhm.
What's crazy
Let's
to
do
me
that,
is
Rafa,
that
and then I'm gonna take a question. From
Okay,
the chat,
okay,
But go on.
perfect.
Give me your thoughts about Anguissa.
back to Anguissa, right? Like I said, he's that piece that we needed. Like he's like that. He's like that stone, right? The Infinity Stone, right?
The final,
Yeah.
the final.
Dude,
Infinity
he's
Stone.
that stone where like Thanos could just snap a finger and evaporate everybody. But it's insane because Henry Bell, right? Dr. Henry Bell, the former Frank sidekick from Far From Vesuvius, he and we had a chat. We had it might have been on a podcast. I don't remember. where exactly it was, but he had vehemently said Napoli lack what Spalletti needs is that De Rossi type ball winner, defensive mid, in your face, just like that guy, right? 2 or 3 days later on a Serie A broadcast, or it might even have been on Calciocast, where Matteo Bonetti said the same thing. He said, what Napoli lack is that true midfielder, ball-winning defensive midfielder to pair with Fabian, right? I promise you they said that. Then we sign Anguissa, and I have a chat with Sam Cole from the Fulham Focus podcast on Far From Vesuvius, and he literally described Anguissa as being exactly what these two individuals, Henry Bell and Matteo Bonetti, said Napoli needed. And right there, before he even kicked the ball, I said, I'm super excited about this guy. And I know, Mo, you said that you watch the Prem, obviously.
Yeah.
You've seen him play. This guy is a 5-time player of the match last season with Fulham, who only
got relegated last.
Who got relegated, only won 5 matches. So this guy, and then I heard Carlo Garganese, who I'm okay. I like Carlo. He's okay. I like him. But the Italian football podcast, he came out a few weeks ago and said, he was rubbish at Fulham last season, so it's a surprise what he's doing here. No, he was not rubbish.
No, he was not.
This guy was
by far their best player last year. He was by far their best player last year.
The best player.
And even though they got relegated and they had nothing else, he finished top 3 in dribbles completed last year. He was top 10 in every single category for a midfielder. And you know how hard that is when you've got a terrible defense and terrible attack as well. He was the only thing keeping it together. So, like, when you watch a Fulham game, he stands out far above everyone else.
And here I was to think, at the end of last season, I was like, well, maybe we need a new director of sport. Giuntoli probably just doesn't have what it takes anymore. And he hits us with this gem on the last day of the friggin' Mercato.
Saved his job.
And I said it. I said it is the coup of the Mercato. Just like when Ronaldo came into Juve, Fabian came into Napoli that same season. I said that's the coup of the Mercato. It's probably going to pay dividends later, but this one's paying dividends right away because he was our beast of the match. Match one against Juve. He was the beast of the match. This guy Anguissa is the reason we're going to win the Scudetto this season. I'm telling you. Obviously with everybody else and Mario Rui doing his thing at left back. He is the reason we're winning the Scudetto.
Koulibaly and Insigne and
guys,
Mertens
hold
and guys
on,
like that, they deserve it.
I think deserve it.
Anguissa is a great addition, but I really think, and I said this the last forum that we did and the last forum that we did, and I think it's going to come down to Lorenzo Insigne because his style of play lately and his leadership ability and his attitude on the pitch is resonating throughout the whole team.
It's what Carm said. You win a title. You win a title with your national team. Now I know we all slag off the international breaks, but these players really want to play for their national team. They want to win titles, and when you win a title with your national team, and you're in like an integral part of it, because to me, Insigne was a big part of that. You don't get the match winner against Belgium in the quarterfinals, and you can't tell me Insigne wasn't a big part of this win. I'm sorry, you can't.
He was, but it's the effect that probably had.
That's it. Right, Maradona won the World Cup in 1986. He brought that Coppa del Mondo back to Napoli and stuck it in everybody's ass and won our first Scudetto. Come on, man, it's not an accident. It's not an accident. There's then you have Di Lorenzo and you have Meret, who sat on the bench but still is a winner. He's a champion still. You have that mentality now. Like that's what I needed. I needed Italia, and that's why I always want when these international breaks come around. I don't mind it as much because I want to see our players score, win, happy. Come back to Naples. Yo, man, I got that second goal in Nigeria. Yo, man,
someone has asked a very good question, by the way. I think you should put it up. Antonio.
Go ahead, Rafi. Rafi,
go
with
Prime Milan. Yeah, there was a couple. I just got a couple.
Go with the question.
Before I get with the question, I'll say one more thing about Insigne. That's it. Look at what happened with against Spartak. Yes, Mario Rui got the red card. Ultimately, that going a man down probably led to all like the domino effect of issues that Napoli had. But the one biggest thing to me was when Insigne came out in the 41st minute, when I thought we could have handled this. We handled this against Venezia, but to me, I think the game changed once Insigne got out the game. The nerves that we had during the second half, the team, you can see it. It was pretty visible. The pressure that was put on Osimhen, the pressure that was put on Ngisa, they had to hold all that on their shoulders. And it took about to the 70-something minute to really kind of let that all go. And then we started seeing a little bit more. We ended up scoring 2 goals. But to me, the reason why I think beyond any other player, Insigne is the key here. I think within that Spartak game, Spalletti blundered by taking out Insigne that early. Yeah, I think he blundered. That was the biggest mistake, because what does Insigne do now? He keeps his team's head in the game. He did it against Venezia. He did it against Leicester, okay? He kept the wheels spinning. He kept everybody calm. He has learned to absorb that pressure and not let it affect him. Insigne has reached his next level. Insigne, the 30-year-old Insigne, is now at that next level. You understand? This is what you reach when you are
maturity.
Healthy. You are
maturity too. A lot of maturity.
Look at it's the leadership ability. Look at Koulibaly. Look, you know, him speaking out against the racism thing and being not just that, but you can just see the mentality that these guys have, why they're so crucial to this team. And these are 2 players that you want on the pitch all the time now over anybody, honestly. And that's why I think he's going to be the key.
Can I just respond to something that you said about the Sparta game? You know, him when you guys said Spalletti's first mistake was taking out Insigne. I feel like he did that because I think Insigne was going to be the first sub that day anyway, because of the whole rest thing, and because it was half time, and because a left back was the one taken off. I think it just made sense to take off, because when a defender gets taken off, you take off one of your attackers, right? All the other attackers are rotation pieces. He's the only one that started every other game. So I feel like he did it because of the rest aspect, and I think Insigne wasn't going to play 90 minutes there anyway. So I think it was just a substitution that was forced because of it. So I don't.
It might have been too early. I wasn't against
but I think he pulled the trigger a little early. I
was against the timing of it.
Minute, right, 41st minute. Look at Elmas, who, by the way, has been such a utility player. Okay, maybe he has to work on finishing a little bit. Fine, I'll grant that to everybody. But this guy has played CDM, has played the number 10, has played the left wing, and even plays left back and right back now. Okay, what a utility player! And he's only 22. He is going to be the bomb. So
dude,
I'm
Napoli,
you to keep your eye on this guy. He is going to be great. But hold on, Rafa. He when Mario Rui got the red card, Elmas went back to cover the. He actually covered Di Lorenzo.
He went right back, and Di Lorenzo went left.
Which again, another stupid decision. Elmas plays on the left. When Rui makes his run forward, who's the guy that comes back to cover him? Elmas on the left. Keep Di Lorenzo on the right. Our 2 biggest weapons that day was the link up between Di Lorenzo and Politano and Insigne's crosses. All right. We lose Insigne in the 41st minute when we could have handled the rest of that half. It was in the 41st minute. We have 4 minutes more or less to go to get out of that half. We would have done it. Elmas would have covered the position fine, and then we could have came into either the second half with Malcolm,
or in the 50th or 60th,
or the 50th or 60th minute. We could have let Insigne take a few more minutes just to kind of put the game back on track, give them another goal, and then come off. And by the 60th minute or the 55th minute, if it wasn't happening, fine. Take Insigne off, rest them for the Fiorentina game. I'm cool with that. But that was my own. It was a little bit nervy. It was a little bit too soon for Spalletti. I think there was a little bit of pressure on Osimhen and Ngisa to perform. Like, I don't think they expected to come out so early. They didn't expect to have to come back now with 10 men down. So I think overall, small mistakes still didn't worry me, but I think Insigne, him leaving, is such a key to keeping the mentality of this team together. Because Rafa, our first show, what was the biggest thing we spoke about?
Mentality is gone.
The mentality was gone at that point. What do we see now on Napoli? Why am I so encouraged to say that they're Scudetto
Bro,
contenders?
I've been saying this for 5 years. As a podcaster for Napoli, I've been saying this for 5 effing years. If Napoli got their mentality right, they would have won 2 Scudetto by now. You know what I'm saying? If Napoli had their mentality right, they would have won 2, at least 3, maybe.
So now's the time, maybe, because they
Now
they
that's
got
what I'm
their
trying to
mentality
say.
right.
Everybody is hoping, everybody's praying that we mess up. That's the only win. That's the only way these other teams are going to win the Scudetto. They're praying we tank this season. Even the news, even all the news pundits that I read in Italy talking about Napoli, is all about, Spalletti's going to tank in the midseason. They're not going to be able to keep all this up. Everybody is doubting us. Everybody wants Napoli to fail. Why? Why? We're the ones that are due the most. We're the ones that deserve it the most, man. And this is all the time. You know what I'm afraid of? I'm not afraid. I think the team is fine. What I'm afraid of is everything around them. The shitstorm. You can see De Laurentiis. He's been quiet, which has been good lately. But the shitstorm around Napoli is what I'm afraid of. It's the haters and the naysayers, the media, the fans. Everybody wants us to fail. This is why Diego said Napoli contro tutti, because we are literally going against everybody, including our own fans sometimes.
Listen,
so if we can avoid the bullshit and the team stays healthy, Napoli win the Scudetto this year.
You got to expect that. You got to
give him the salt later. Right, Michael. And he's a Milanista.
You got to expect, God forbid, a team from the South were to win. Italy
they don't want that. Crumble. They don't want it.
Italy would crumble.
They don't want it. The same three teams from what? Since you know why the 1980s was so good? You know why the 1980s was so good? Because from 1980 to 1990, within that 10-year span, 10 seasons, 6 teams won a Scudetto. 6. It was the most challenging. Since 1990 and beyond, with the exception of 1 year with Lazio and 1 year with Roma, only 3 teams won the Scudetto in Italy. Inter, Milan, and Juve. And I'm sorry, but that's boring as hell. And
in the 80s, 2 teams were Southern. You had Roma and Napoli.
Roma and Napoli.
And Napoli won 2, so that's 3.
I think Sampdoria was in there. Milan was in there.
In the 90s, Sampdoria, yeah. 91 was
6
Sampdoria,
teams.
but they're northern. But yeah,
doesn't matter.
Roma, Napoli, yeah.
North, South, Central, 6 teams in 10 years won a Scudetto. That to me is more interesting and more challenging.
Bro, the 80s and 90s
winning it this year. That's what matters.
That's it.
Serie A needs Napoli to win.
Here's the thing.
We need a rising South, man.
I'm going to say this and then get to those questions, Rafi. I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to want Peter to chime in here because Peter hasn't really said much in the last few minutes.
We lost Gaetano. I think that's tradition now.
I understand. I see. That's all right. Listen, Gaetano,
Jersey Wi-Fi.
My Jersey Wi-Fi is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
What are you, North Jersey?
Yeah. Stop. Peter, am I right in saying that Napoli have the perfect mix of maturity, youth, and in between this season? That might be a factor also of why we may win the Scudetto or we can win the Scudetto. What do you think, Peter? I mean, like you got Insigne who's 30, Koulibaly who's 30.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Insigne, his probably the biggest thing we've questioned about him, and I know we've even talked about it on the show. I've heard you guys talk about it. Is he's the captain. Why isn't he stepping up? Napoli fans all have talked. And I've even said it. Koulibaly should be the captain because he does more to bring the team together than Insigne. This year, we have seen Insigne step up and be the captain that he should be. We've seen, bringing in players. They're making a difference this season. Not we sign them, they're young, they wait a year or two, they learn the squad, then they run and are amazing. And Guisa completely changed Napoli this year. Fabian would not be having the season he's having without Guisa. Last year he was a defensive liability. On top of not playing well, this year I've seen whenever he makes a bunch of amazing defensive plays, and he's a joy to watch. Mario Rui's having a much better year than anyone thought he should have. So the pieces are there, absolutely. And I hope I'm wrong, but I guess I'm waiting for I don't know. Spalletti's duck's gonna get sick, and he's gonna go out to take care of the duck.
We can't think like that.
That's Snow White.
Hey, Peter loves his history stuff. It's crazy.
It's just, I'm sorry. I don't know. And also, that's why it's like I know, like you're like, oh, why don't you care about the Europa League? Because, like, as a Napoli fan, winning the Europa League isn't going to fill that want for the Scudetto. especially like when we're talking about like the North. I want to not only do I want Napoli to win the Scudetto, I want to stick it to the North. I'm sick and tired of hearing them like the same three teams. I want.
It's boring.
I want to give it to them bad.
Right.
I think Peter,
down
you
inside,
can't tell me.
come on.
You can't tell me that if Napoli get to the semifinal of the Europa League, we actually have a shot to win it.
I'll be excited, but like if the option is like if Napoli win the Europa League,
it's not even
don't
close,
win
bro.
Serie A.
It's not even close.
I'm still going to feel like the season was a disappointment.
Yeah, bro. Listen, I'm like the Scudetto for me. As crazy as it's gonna sound, even the Champions League wouldn't fill that void of what's it called, wanting a Scudetto. Like I want, that's what we want, and that's what we need. Beating Barcelona and Real Madrid to a Champions League isn't.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know, man.
Scudetto
I don't know.
good,
I'm with you. Listen. I want every season to wear these patches behind me on the
I don't want any consolation prizes here. I want
Hold up.
hardware.
Hold up. But you can't possibly tell me that if Napoli are in the semifinal of the Champions League, that you wouldn't be super stoked if we were like fourth in Serie A.
Of course.
No, 100%. It would be crazy for Napoli to win the Champions League, but I'm just saying, give me an option.
Listen, if Napoli won the Champions League but missed the Scudetto by 1 point in the last day,
it would hurt.
Napoli are the champion. But Napoli are the champions of Europe.
But not Italy.
They're the champions. They won a Champions League before Juve did.
Listen, that's how I feel.
That's great for the banter.
That's how I feel,
Carmine
bro.
is going to jump through the screen any moment. Please, guys, Carmine, say it.
There is an inherent need for us just to go to a Juve fan and say, look at what we did. Look, against all the odds, after all the years, after everything that we've been through, we fucking won. We fucking won the Scudetto, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I get it.
It's self-gratification, and I couldn't care less about just the bragging rights alone, just to go up to another.
I don't care about bragging rights or anything like that, bro. I just want to win the Scudetto because we deserve it, and we've deserved it for the last
30 years.
I want to validate all the hard work.
For 30 years,
yeah, that's what it is, bro.
And the fact that we can go against all odds and come back and win it, that is more important to me than the Europa League or a Champions League.
Here's the thing. I want it in order. I want to win Champions League with the Scudetto on our shirt. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if the reverse were to come, I'd be fine with it. Trust me, I would be totally fine with it.
I'd much rather Scudetto.
But I wouldn't be satisfied until Napoli win that Scudetto because we've been so close. So
I understand. I'm with you.
I just want to get over the hump one time. Honestly speaking, if Napoli win the Scudetto, I don't think I'll be excited for football anymore. Like I think I'll just be satisfied and I'll just be good. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Happy.
I'll just watch Napoli games and be like, oh yeah, okay, it's cool. Like I'll just be satisfied just to experience that one time. I don't think anything will even. To be fair,
wouldn't stress you anymore. It wouldn't stress you anymore.
I mean,
these losses to Lecce at San Paulo wouldn't stress you.
Yo, listen,
De Laurentiis is awesome. You know, like.
Oh yeah.
By the way, guys,
we missed the Champions League by 1 point this year. Cool, bro. That's you will go again next year. It's okay. I just want to experience that out just once, bro.
Nah, I think we'll get hungry.
Oh man, no.
Yeah, you can get hungry, bro. I'm satisfied, man.
Listen, for the last Scudetto, I was too young to really appreciate it. Like I was happy, but I was like 7. You know, I was very young. I remember the day like it was yesterday. I remember everything we did, the celebrations, but I was just like my kids now. You know, like yeah, we want to Scudetto, but like it wasn't really for me. It wasn't until later on in my life where I was like, damn, I appreciated it and I cried and, you know, I would watch footage of it and cry and reminisce and all that stuff. As an adult, I need this. I need a Scudetto. But I'm saying to you right now, I would never say no to a Europa League or a Champions League, even if it was in the expense of a Scudetto, because we always have a chance to win a Scudetto. As long as we're in Serie A, we have a shot to win the Scudetto. To win a Champions League or a title in Europe, I mean, it puts us here, dude. Like, it puts us here in the global landscape. You know what I mean? It does. Yeah. I understand. Like no one. No.
This is what he's laughing at, by the
Ooh,
way.
what's this?
By the way, Michael, we in the
What'd
private
I
chat, Mohammed just told me he was hungry too. So we gotta go. Mohammed's gotta eat, bro. It's
Listen,
it's like 1 in the morning and fucking.
Bang through the questions, Ralph. Bang through the questions fast. Let's do it.
Well, no, I mean, we kind of answered most of them, so I'm not gonna really go. It was about the Europa League. It was about Insigne and things.
There was one question
I do got to cut out because remember what happened last time? The machines came out and tried to attack us. You know, the Transformers and the Terminator. I don't know. All right, you had to watch the last episode. Go towards the end. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
When the machines came out, because these machines get hot and then big problems start happening. But I was going to make a point real quick. Body currently is in first place, clear like almost 6 points, I think. And I can just imagine the story of Body get promoted to Serie B and Napoli win the Scudetto in the same season. I think that would be really cool. There was a question about penalties in here, with Insigne taking penalty kicks, if there should be a different penalty kick taker.
Yes.
I don't mind talking about it, guys, but I got like 5 more minutes and then we got to get out. So,
so quickly, yes.
does
I think there should be
like,
another.
I'll
penalty.
give it to like one of you guys.
Yes.
I'll give it to Carmine and
yes,
Peter.
with stats.
I'm gonna
Yes,
give it to
with
Carmine
stats.
and Peter, Rafa. Let's let them. ADL's creaming then. That's funny.
Yes.
To be
with
fair,
stats.
if I was just quickly, if I was ADL, Napoli win the Scudetto and Barry get promoted. If I'm choosing one, I choose Barry because my job here is done.
Yeah, sell us to
If-
Jeffrey Bezos. We'll be good.
Yeah, my job here is done. Let me start all over again with Barry and see if I can do it all over again.
You know what?
Greatest owner of all time, anyway.
I'd be much better with Jeffrey Bezos being the owner of Napoli for Amazon than selling to like this Saudi prince or this oil tycoon. Because that's just the cheap way out, man. I mean,
the
that's
vice,
cheap, you know,
the vice
you
president
know what I mean?
of Amazon's a Napoli fan, so
Huge Napoli fan.
Yeah.
It's no
So
accident.
It's
not-
happening, bro.
Yes, it's
I
no
think,
accident.
I think we got to wait for the stadium because not with Manfredi, right? He's trying to
Ooh,
push
the mayor.
He's trying to improve.
Yeah.
ADL tweeted about him, gave him big props. They're
new mayor.
They get along, and you know, ADL has been very outspoken about the municipality and how to improve the stadiums. Go look. He even mentioned something about PSG and that stadium.
He said he wants Maradona to be a championship stadium. Is what he said.
Not only that, Rafa, but compared to the rent that ADL has to pay for the Maradona compared to what PSG was paying, there's a huge gap in between those two prices. Napoli was paying, or De Laurentiis was paying almost 3 times more than PSG to play.
That's
Parc
amazing.
the Prince. All right,
That's
and right, and France, the French government or the Paris government or the Paris Commune or whatever, injected almost like $70 million of improvements into the stadium, and I think, and their rent is less than $1 million or something like that. It's close to like $500,000, where Napoli was paying like 1.3 per year for.
That's not right.
It's I know it is a monument. It is a what's the word? A landmark. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but let's keep it real. Like, I think a little bit of modernization is in order. So
has to happen.
ADL is right when he says all these things, man. Like the
ADL is never wrong.
He's never
it's
wrong.
The same bit. It's the same building.
ADL is never
it's the same
ever
building.
wrong.
That's the same ground. It's the same ground.
That's
It's fine. We could make some changes. It's the same hallowed ground.
Save a few bucks. Thank you, Antonio, for that. So, whatever. I'm sorry to veer off real quick, but
no, it's
Carmine,
we need to
Peter,
talk about.
give me quick thoughts. Penalty takers. Take 5 minutes, and then we're out of here, guys. I'll put on the music. Once you hear the music, it's like the Oscars. We're ready to go.
Mertens, all right, I'll go super quick. Mertens, if he's on the pitch. If not, Fabian.
Okay.
Love it. Carmine?
With stats here, Chucky Lozano, if he's on the pitch, now he's converting at 83%. If he's not on the pitch, Mertens converting at 84%. Osimhen's like at 80-something%.
Okay.
Like, you have their options to come out here. Insigne right now is sitting at 81%.
Okay.
For conversion rate. So you have
which dropped in the last half a month.
Yo, what about
Exactly.
Zielinski?
year.
I think Zielinski's got a shot on him. And I
Zelensky
think
has
Good
no
shout.
stats on that yet.
None. Wow.
None, zero.
Yeah.
So those are three options automatically on the pitch that have a better conversion rate than Insigne right now. So yes, I think for a little bit he also has no stats on penalties too. I tried to look, but for those three options, you got to give him, because Insigne right now he's
Spina takes
50-50 this season, and I mean he before the season he'd only missed 5 in his career.
Exactly.
So
I never want him
There
to
you
take
go.
one against Juventus ever again.
no,
He's bad.
no.
Salah, do
No.
you have
No,
anybody in particular? And then I'm going to throw on the music here.
You talking to me?
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
No, the
sorry.
other Salah.
Oh no, I didn't. I thought you
No,
said calm or something.
quick penalty taker for you.
To be fair, Mertens, if Mertens is on the pitch,
Oh,
Mertens or Osimhen if they're on the pitch.
I'm with Peter
That's
too.
it.
Same. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I'll agree with the consent.
But I feel like because of the sake of the fact that he's the captain, I don't think they're gonna take it off him, just because.
right.
He should
I
do
don't
it for
think
the
they
good
take
of the
it
team.
Right. Well, we'll see. I mean, like, if he starts missing more, I mean, Spalletti's going to have to make a decision, or at the very least have some type of talk with him, maybe have him do it part-time or whatever. But, you know, with Mertens getting back, with Ozimhen's hot form lately, any one of those guys, even Zelensky, I guess.
Yeah.
I've heard Politano in there because he took that
Politano's
one
at
on the
50%.
friendly.
Yo, I've got a
No,
question. You know that year that Higuain scored 36 goals, who was taking penalties? Because Higuain only
Jorginho.
scored 3.
Jorginho,
Okay.
Jorginho.
Got it.
All right, guys.
I think. I
Yeah,
don't
it was
remember
Jorginho.
Napoli getting
It
a
was
lot of
Oh
penalties. Was it
wait,
Jorginho?
It could have been Hamsik.
Hamsik might have been too.
I think it was-
but
no,
it was Jorginho.
Jorginho.
It was Jorginho.
It was Jorginho. I believe it was
Jorginho,
Jorginho. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot.
No,
Napoli get
Barely get them
penalties? No
anyway.
way. It doesn't happen.
barely get them anyways. Doesn't even matter.
It wasn't a lot.
You know,
Yeah.
Mike, I wasn't paying attention, but Michael got the De Laurentiis profile pic, and he's a Milanista. I love him, bro.
He's the greatest
Admit it,
human
Mike, deep
being
down, you
on
love
this planet.
Napoli. You love him. Higuain took like
He took 3 that year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he took 3 that year.
Coutinho
Yeah.
and Higuain.
Fully on pens.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Take care, guys.
Thank you so much for
Appreciate
coming.
it.
We again,
Yes,
we lost
you guys are
Gaetano,
great.
but,
That's okay.
you know, we'll get him back on to talk a little bit more. But we got Mohammed Mo. We got you. In
I
England
want
right
Mo
now.
and Dom. I want Dom on here next time with Mo.
We're gonna
listen.
I still
the
haven't
November
talked to you
break.
guys. We got this idea.
Yeah.
The November break when Italy wrap up qualification for the World Cup. We need Mo and we need
We're gonna do
Dom
it.
on here.
We got this great idea, Mo, and we're gonna pitch it to you.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm there. I'm ready.
Speaking of which,
I ain't
you wanna-
running away from
I know-
nobody.
It's gonna be good. I'm
We
telling you, we're
ready.
gonna have a lot of fun. Mo, give a shout out. I know you've been doing a lot with the NFL. Real quick, tell where people can find you.
Just at Salad NFL, and I tweet everything all the time. So yeah, you find me there.
You'll see him there without a
Yeah.
doubt. Peter, real quick, tell the fans.
You can find me at PScholar11. Just tweet about Napoli now. It's the Mets, suck. Yeah.
That suck.
What a Met stat that was, wasn't it, Peter? Longest time in first place to not make the playoffs.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Carmine.
That's a Met stat if it ever was. Go ahead, Carmine.
Yeah,
Napoli
you
Club
can,
Toronto.
you
Talk
can
to us.
find me at t.tifoso. You can also follow the Napoli Club of Toronto, represent on Instagram and Twitter, or you can follow us on our own podcast stuff where it's Fili del Vesuvio podcast, which in the next episode, we have a little announcement to make. So,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
can't
okay.
wait.
be
Can't
sure for
wait.
that.
This
Look
is
for that.
great.
That's all.
Nice, guys. Christopher, I had a question. Rafa, we're going to do that thing. I can't get into it now because I got to go.
Chris,
but
we'll
had a
get
great
you-
question.
I'll
this
tweet
is the
your-
question, Rafa. Make sure you answer it. He asked a few times. Thoughts on the World Cup being every 2 years? How does it affect-
Absolutely not.
All right.
But I'll elaborate on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah. Get on Twitter.
Absolutely
answer-
not.
Or
No way.
you know what? I don't know if Christopher's on Twitter. So, Rafa,
He's on
respond
Facebook.
to
I'll get him on
on
Facebook.
Facebook or YouTube. He's in the Couch
Absolutely
Napoli
not.
Club as well. You can answer him there. Matteo Costella, thank you so much. Forza Napoli sempre, guys. Again, guys, been a real pleasure. Thank you. We had a great show today. Big shout out. Thanks to everybody in the chat for sticking along.
Thanks
man.
for who stayed. Thanks for everybody who stayed. Thanks for everybody who's listening on Far From Vesuvius. Thanks to everybody who came in live. Thanks for everybody who contributed on YouTube. Sorry about Twitter. We'll get to the bottom of it, but we love you guys.
Twitter has to
Thank
fix
you.
that. Yeah.
2-hour special, the Renaissance Crew, baby.
Love it. All right, guys. Guys, stick around. We'll all catch out together. But until then, guys, Forza Napoli.
Sempre. Forza Napoli. Ciao for now.